and welcome to the Mortal Angel podcast. This is episode 2. My name is Angel, and I'm coming to you from Spokane, Washington. According to a recent poll, the unreligiously affiliated have grown in numbers to about 22% of the national population. I read an article on the Religious News Service that was interesting. It said that non-believers tend to be non-joiners. Why is that? I suspect the answer is pretty complicated, so ponder that for a little while. Today's feature is an interview with Adrienne. She is the Vice President of the Spokane Secular Society, S3 for short. I will be talking to her about what S3 is and what they have going on in the organization. Maybe I'll even ask her about the non-believers being non-joiners. I'd like to welcome Adrienne. Thank you for joining us today.
You're absolutely welcome. I'm happy to be here.
So, you're the Vice President of the Spokane Secular Society. Can you tell us
correct.
What is S3?
Well, S3 is, it's the 3 S's, Spokane Secular Society, and what we are is we're a group that gets together at least once a month and talk about atheism and secularism and things that we might like to do as a group in terms of either social events or community helping events.
Oh, very nice. Why is an organization like S3 important?
I think it's really important because as human beings, we kind of crave a certain amount of community. We crave somewhere where we can get together with like-minded individuals. And I kind of hate to, liken it to a church, but it is something where, we feel like we belong. We feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And, we're just with like-minded people. A lot of folks out there probably are surrounded by religious people or people who are, kind of borderline, but it's nice to be in a situation where everybody is on the same page or close to the same page. I mean, there's certainly some differences within the group as to what our belief structures might be, but it's a nice, refreshing situation.
Are there other reasons why people should be involved in organizations like S3?
Sure. In the world, there are so many outside forces in terms of religion, and having a group that allows us to do, for example, some charitable work. We're really just starting to branch out into that specifically for your part, Angel, or that you've helped out with the group. We're becoming more involved in some volunteer type things. We're handing out what we call blessing bags, which are bags that have just a little bit of, some necessities, some, toiletries and some food items that we can give to the homeless, so that we are making an impact on the community as an alternative to religious groups that provide various charity. We as secular people care about other human beings as well, and we'd like to be able to extend that help to everyone as well. And so that's part of, why an organization like this is important, is it gives us an opportunity to give back to the community in an alternate capacity other than religion.
Is there a website that listeners can visit for more information on meeting times and locations?
Sure. Both the places to look for us and information, first of all, is Facebook, because that seems to be where lots of people are these days.
Absolutely.
Our web page, our Facebook page is, I believe, just Spokane Secular Society. And we started out, and we are still present on a website called meetup.com. And meetup.com is a nice place to find all sorts of different activities in your local neighborhood. I mean, Meetup is I think, worldwide, but we're there, and if you went and looked for Spokane Secular Society or just looked up secular humanism, you'd probably find us in that list somewhere.
Oh, excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to share with listeners?
Gosh, and I knew that would probably be asked, and I'm not sure. Just glad that you're listening, and if there's anything that you'd like to recommend that we're doing that we're not doing, or I don't know, I'm sure we don't want to hear you tell us stuff that we're doing that you don't want us to do. We don't want to be told no. But yeah, we I guess I would just say that we welcome feedback. We welcome people to join us up with us and just make us a more well-rounded group and help as much as we can.
Great. Would you like to try a freestyle question?
Go right ahead.
So earlier in the podcast, I was talking about an article I read about how the number of non-religiously affiliated people has really grown in the nation to about 22%. And I was reading an article recently that said that non-believers tend to be non-joiners. And do you think that that is true, that non-believers, for lack of a better term, tend to be antisocial?
I don't know that it's antisocial, but I think that there's a certainly when you don't have religious beliefs, it's hard to feel pretty wound up about things or to join in, even though, yes, I'm suggesting Spokane Secular Society or any, group like that, because there's a part of a lot of people who do want to join in. But because in religion, or specifically in non-religious people, if you don't believe in religion, if you don't believe in some sort of deity, you kind of already have divorced yourself from that notion of, I have to join in and conform. And so I think that can easily be something that can be tagged on with non-believers. But if I were to address that a little further, it's been my personal belief for a long time that there is a lot more than that 20% of non-believers. I think that most people who don't believe, but they're not quite ready to make that proclamation. It's like, if you took someone who they think they're spiritual, but if you kind of walked through all of the questions of, okay, well, do you believe in this particular supernatural phenomenon? No. And if you get all the way through it, there is no supernatural thing they actually believe in, even though, we all enjoy a good Christmas movie. We all enjoy, Santa and these special, magical thoughts. And it's lovely to think about them. But I think if push came to shove, most people, or a much larger portion of the population, if you really went through what they really believe, I think there's a lot more non-belief out there than people will actually claim.
Yeah.
So in my lifetime, in your lifetime, I absolutely expect us to be in the majority at some point.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Yeah. I think things have come a long way in the last 30 years, and I think in the next 30, we're definitely going to see the tide roll over, and secular humanist people, and non-belief will be the top percentage of the population.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I surely do appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. I was glad to be able to chat with you.
Today's tip sort of ties into books. It's about the Spokane Library. The library has a website. It's all one word, SpokaneLibrary.org. And the library itself and the online resources that it offers are spectacular. I personally don't think that you should ever pay for two of the same thing unless it's totally awesome, like diamonds. Because taxpayers fund public libraries. Why buy something that's already at the library? So they have classes, like tech classes. So if you're not very savvy, and they can help you out. They also do equipment loans like HD video cameras. And in library, they offer access to websites that usually charge, like Ancestry.com, which is great because Spokane is an old city. There was a fire in like 1889, somewhere in there, that burned a lot of the downtown. But a lot of the other outside areas have buildings that are still really old. And it's interesting that if you have the opportunity to live in an old home, to figure out who the people were who lived there. And Ancestry.com is a great resource for that. But you don't want to pay for it, right? Who wants to do that? The library has it for free. Keeping up with the digital age, they're also able to download books, magazines, and music. Free library cards are available to all residents or property owners in the city of Spokane or in the Spokane County Library District service area. So check out the website for more details. That's the podcast for today. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, let's behave humanely, humankind.